What is the most OP build for Balthus in Fire Emblem 3 Hopes? Oh boy, I'm about to piss a lot of people off. All I ask is you give this build a chance. I promise you that this version of Balthus is far superior to any other. Like it or not, we're going Dark Bishop. Balthus makes one of the strongest mages I've ever built or tested. I present Balthus, the god of flame? First off, let me tell you why I didn't choose War Master. Balthus is given a relic weapon called Vajra Mushti. The huge benefit of this weapon is as your health gets lower, your damage goes up. It's honestly a great idea, until you look at Balthus's abilities. He does not have a single greater damage ability that causes himself harm. Other than just standing around and letting yourself get hit, there is no way to lower his HP. This effectively makes his relic useless for him specifically. On top of that, his crest has a 30% chance to heal him if you use a combat art. So even if you wanted to lower his health, he's literally designed to stay topped off. Which leads us to our Dark Bishop choice. We need to run the Tome of Hrati to make this build work. It's our first opportunity to use it, and I'm so glad that I did, because no matter what I tried to build Balthus as, he can't even hold a candle to what he's capable of in this build. Hrati calculates damage using the higher of either the unit's strength or the unit's magic. Unlike Wit Strike though, it does not convert the damage to the stat being used. This means that our damage will be calculated on our strength, but as a Dark Bishop who casts spells, our damage is still magic based. I've covered this a few times now, but magic damage is far superior to physical in this game. Which brings us to our second reason I'm about to piss a lot of people off, our accessory. Balthus has a strong ability that increases his damage based on a combo count and gives us some gold when we send enemies flying. The only problem is, this ability is literally the worst ability you can have on Balthus. Balthus does not get despoiled. This means if you want to start farming gold, you're capped off at the 9,999 extra. So giving Balthus's gold making ability to literally anyone else who has despoil will double that amount of gold gain. Yes, it stacks, I tested it. So this means that the only thing we really gain from his ability is the damage boost. So why not give him Sylvain's ability to boost the damage the same way as before, but also add range? I'll cover the ability in greater detail in a moment, but first let's move on to our battalion. As per usual, we're running Resist Cavalry. Feel free to run anything you want, the battalion is not set in stone for this build. Our combat spells for the build are Bolganun and Ragnarok, the two highest damaging fire spells in the entire game. Hades counts too, but for a range build, these two other spells are much more effective. Now as for our changed unique. Gordian Stroke increases our attack range and damage proportionate to our hit count when above 150. This is very similar to the original ability Balthus gets, just replace the gold with range. This build is still viable with his original ability. It's just a weaker version. Our King of Grappling ability greatly increases our crit when below 50% health. Pretty much useless in the endgame when you're making builds like this because you rarely ever take damage. When you do get hit really hard, you drop to 1 HP and need to heal anyways. Raging Tempest increases our damage dealt when ordered to seize. Our class abilities, truthfully, aren't that important, but I'll go over them anyways. Miasma gives us the Miasma spell or enhances the one we have if we already have it. Dark Magic Mastery reduces our cooldowns on dark magic spells, which we don't use. Impair extends the duration of status effects inflicted, which is cool I suppose, but it's not game breaking. Cavalry Buster gives us a 95% damage boost against cavalry, which is pretty nice. Which leads me to answer the question, why did you choose Dark Bishop if not for the abilities? You'll see, I explain it soon. Now as for our abilities, as per usual I'll cover where I got them at the end of the video. Reason boosts our damage by 30% when wielding a tome. Wild Abandon greatly increases damage done and greatly increases damage received. Offensive Tactics boosts our damage by an additional 20% as long as your battalion is still active. Boost Critical gives us a boost to our crit hit chance. Essence of Fire transforms our fire spells, combat arts, strong attacks, and class actions into more powerful variants. This really boosts our damage and range on both Bolganun and Ragnarok. Life Taker heals us every time we defeat an enemy commander. If you would like to attempt to use King of Grappling, feel free to leave this one off. But as a Dark Bishop on higher level maddening content, you're gonna find it's an all or nothing situation. You're either knocked down to nothing or you barely get damaged at all. Big Game Hunter gives us a damage boost against enemy commanders, a very strong ability to have. Absorb Strength is absolutely bonkers for this build. It's just like my last build when Hubert had Absorb Magic. Since all of our damage calculations are being calculated based on our strength, that means that Absorb Strength will boost all of our damage significantly as the match rages on. Absorb Strength gives us a strength boost for each commander defeated and lasts for the entire battle. Nullify Magic nullifies enemy magic, another cool ability to have. And finally, Dual Onslaught, an ability I often don't use because it's way too overrated. I won't get into it now, but this ability does not simply add your strength and magic together. Otherwise, you would see an 80% or so damage increase on relatively balanced characters. All this ability does is considers your strength for your magic damage and your magic for your strength damage. Oftentimes this actually leads to no damage increase whatsoever. It also works horribly with Wit Strike since they effectively cancel each other out. However, in this very specific instance, Dual Onslaught is a pretty big boost. Our damage calculation is based on our strength, however the damage is never converted to that damage type, making all of our damage still magic based. So that means Dual Onslaught considers strength for our magical damage calculation, effectively doing the same calculation twice. I did test it and I do believe this is how it works. I can't say if it was intended or not. Probably not, but hey, it works, so we're gonna use it. Our most important stats for the build are strength, dex, and speed. Priority on strength. Hey look, War Master is gonna help us out. Level Balthus as a War Master 120 times, since War Master boosts strength, dex, and speed by a significant amount. This will really give Balthus some nicely rounded stats in all the desired fields. Now our combat loop. Hopefully you made it this far because this is where you get the explanation about why Dark Bishop. Dark Bishop has a really strong fire elemental strong attack. You need to press Y 4 times followed by X once. Essence of Fire boosts this attack and causes it to last a really long time, do a lot of damage, and rack up a lot of hit count. This ability, when used with our other two fire spells, causes the entire map to burn to a crisp. It's crazy. So you start the fight by casting either Bolganun or Ragnarok. Feel free to cast the other right after to build some combo. This will bring you above the 150 hit count, allowing you to use your strong fire combo to hit pretty much everything around you. This will bring your hit counter all the way to 1000 in a few seconds, raising both your damage and your range due to swapping out our unique ability with Gordian Stroke. This gives us damage that rivals Hubert, probably just under, but has the added ranged advantage of hitting everything. If you choose any other class, you lose your hit counter ability. Without it, you're gonna struggle keeping your hit counter high enough for it to matter without something like Chain 3 slowing the counter timer down. We could start a brand new hit counter every single commander and get it into the thousands instantly, all because of that one strong attack from Dark Bishop. As for where I got each ability, reason is from Mage, Warlock, and Dark Bishop. Wild Abandon from Brigand, Offensive Tactics from Wyvern Rider, Boost Critical from Grappler, Essence of Fire from Warlock, Life Taker from Dark Mage, Big Game Hunter from Mortal Savan, Absorb Strength and Nullify Magic from Dark Bishop, Dual Onslaught from Mortal Savan, Bolganun from Mage, and Ragnarok from Warlock. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more builds.